In 1803, Thomas Jefferson made the Louisiana Purchase. He bought from France some 530 million acres for only 3 cents per acre, thus securing the Mississippi River from foreign influence and beginning the nation's westward expansion. But were you aware that the Louisiana Purchase also included all of Napoleon's moon bases, or bases sur lune? Probably you were not aware of this. See, France had been experimenting with space travel since the late 18th century, using a modification of the diving bell designed by Edmund Halley. But unlike Halley, Napoleon was not interested in capturing comets, but reaching the moon before the Portuguese could. Thus, as soon as he took control of France in 1799, Napoleon immediately began shooting diving bells out of a gigantic cannon aimed at the moon. The first French astronauts were snails and songbirds. When these various animals fell back to Earth, the fiery re-entry certainly made them delicious. It also helped that their spacesuits were made of confit. But the ultimate prize of the moon still remained elusive. Looking for inspiration, Napoleon invaded Italy. There, Leonardo da Vinci's ancient designs for fanciful flying machines provided provocative new ideas that would invigorate the French space program. Guiding fins were added to the diving bells, and to this day French astronauts still wear giant wooden bat wings. Finally, in 1802, Napoleon himself stepped upon the surface of the moon, accompanied by some 400,000 lunar infantry and 30,000 cavalry. The horses quickly died, exploding in the airless environment. In a rare misstep, Napoleon had neglected to offer them confit suits. But it mattered little. The native moon men were poor soldiers, insofar as they were unfamiliar with warcraft, and also they had no eyes. While conquest was relatively swift, Napoleon found the harsh lunar landscape to be an exciting new tactical challenge. For example, as the moon lacked any atmosphere, a single musket shot would maintain its momentum almost perpetually. Indeed, France's non-horse casualties were limited to those soldiers who carelessly forgot to step out of the way, as their own bullets quickly circled the moon and came back around to hit them in the backs of their dirty French necks. On the other hand, Napoleon was delighted to discover that he could jump several kilometers at a single bound. That's about 500 grams, Jonathan. While lesser men might have been terrified, jumping this far thrilled Napoleon, whose notoriously short stature had previously made him a ridiculously bad jumper. He personally leaped over the walls of the Moonman capital to claim the lunar throne. There he declared himself Empereur de la Lune intérieure in an elaborate coronation ceremony, though most of the moon dwellers themselves had no idea that it was happening. Here again, eyes would have aided them. Napoleon established 3 garrisons upon the moon: Moon Base Alpha, Moon Base Beta, and Moon Base Bonaparte, as well as a great memorial statue of an exploding horse. But the lunar winter proved harsh, and when the horse meat was gone, Napoleon's army was left with nothing to eat but stale bread dipped in scrambled moonman eggs, now known as French toast. War with England was now imminent. Looking back to Earth, Napoleon saw Louisiana, terminus of the muddy ribbon of the Mississippi, bisecting the continent where once he hoped to create a great French empire. "Here at last I have perspective," he wrote in a letter to his earthbound wife, Josephine. From far above, he could see that his holdings in the New World were indefensible, and frankly, California totally freaked him out. Napoleon did not see that shit coming. Within a few weeks, Napoleon was constructing his return cannon. What few French forces remained on the moon under the command of Napoleon's brother Ernst soon perished, for apparently the moon has no oxygen on it. When astronaut Jim Lovell finally walked on the moon as part of the first American non-faked moon landing in 1973, he found the lost French garrisons eerily preserved. Were it not for the fine coating of moon dust and the horse skeletons, one could imagine they were brand new. Dutifully, Lovell lowered Napoleon's flag and raised the Stars and Stripes for the first time, 170 years since the moon bases passed into U.S. hands. The bases are now used for relatively mundane tasks, astronaut training, and monolith storage. You can read more about the exciting days of Napoleon's space program in Jules Verne's great novel, Le Stuf Correct.